And I am told that the pressure from Democratic leaders for Biden to get out of the race is intensifying. In fact, one person who has been out there publicly defending Biden told me just a short while ago, Biden is going to see the whole house of cards come down soon. As for that meeting in Rehoboth, Delaware, I am told that this was a one-on-one meeting, just the Senate leader and the president, and that Chuck Schumer forcefully made the case that it would be better for Biden, better for the Democratic Party, and better for the country if he were to bow out of the race. And David, when I went to Schumer's office to ask them to tell them I was going to report this and tell you this tonight, absolutely no denial from Senator Schumer's office. They only said this: Leader Schumer conveyed the views of his caucus. In other words, the views of Democratic senators. I am also told that Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House, has expressed similar views directly to the president.
Gang, we've got breaking news since that ABC report. Axios is now reporting that Joe Biden is going to drop out this weekend. This is an exclusive from Axios. They're reporting that the pressure behind the scenes for Biden to drop out is so intense that he and his inner circle are realizing that they now have no other options. The mounting pressures, the disastrous polls, the daily scrutiny of his cognitive health has just made it impossible for Biden to continue this campaign. Now, this Axios report is coming on the heels of CNN's reporting last night from the Republican National Convention that Biden was openly considering dropping out of this race.
And talking to a senior Democratic advisor tonight who is telling me this. He said he believes the president is being, quote, more receptive to these calls of concern. He goes on to say this: the private conversations with the Hill are continuing, this advisor tells me. He's being receptive, not as defiant as he is publicly. Goes on to saying, talking about Vice President Kamala Harris, who initially he wondered how she may fare in a campaign should it come to that. I'm told now he's asking questions saying, do you think Kamala can win? Again, this advisor offers caution saying this: it is still unclear where he's going to land, but he seems to be listening. So, Jake, what we do know, this is a new moment for President Biden. Tomorrow marks 3 weeks since the debate in Atlanta, as you well know. He's heard so much concern from across the Democratic Party. Time is running short. The Democratic National Committee was thinking about starting their nomination process next week. That is now on hold. That will not begin until August 1st. So there is a bit of time for the president to make his decision. But hanging over all of this is the same thing as it's been for the last 3 weeks. If not him, who? But tonight, as the president flies back to the East Coast from Las Vegas, it is certainly a new moment for him and his potential candidacy, Jake.
All right, so there's so much there that I want to unpack. First, gang, I do want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor. That's Fume Flavored Air. Gang, I'll be the first to admit that bad habits can be a struggle for anyone, myself included. And when I hear about a solution to solving a bad habit I know many people deal with, I can't wait to share it with you. And what if I told you that there was an enjoyable and fun alternative to one of the most prevalent bad habits in our society? Well, there is, and that's where Fume comes in. This new flavored air device is quickly becoming the fantastic alternative to those pesky old choices. It's an award-winning flavored air device with exceptional flavor, and it's a guilt-free option with non-toxic flavors like orange vanilla or crisp mint. It's like having your own favorite herbal tea and knowing you can feel good about it. The best part about Fume is that it fills a void when you're trying to kick those nasty habits, and it's one more way that courageous conservatives can fight back against the left and their agenda to keep Americans down. So why not give Fume a try? They conduct third-party studies, have amazing quality control of their products, and they're developed with real doctors right here in the USA. Join the over 300,000 Fume users, and for a limited time, use my code Steve Turley to get your free Fume base when you order the Journey Pack. Head to tryfume.com and use code Steve Turley or scan the QR code on the screen. Get a free Fume base with any Journey Pack order. Trust me, gang, this is one swap you can feel great about. What's there to lose? Click on that link or scan the QR code right now. Now, just so you know, up until this point, Biden has basically been trying to run out the clock. He has early ballots that have all gone out to all his delegates that are required by DNC rules to vote for him. They're required to vote in accordance with the will of their Democrat voters. So Biden was basically stalling. He was waiting out the clock. He was just waiting for those ballots to return that officially formalize him as a Democrat candidate. However, we're now getting word that even the delegates themselves don't want to vote for him. There's a mutiny among the delegates who don't want to fulfill the will of the Democrat voter because they know it'll be political suicide. So the very strategy that Biden's been relying on, the votes from the Democrat delegates, appears to be collapsing. At the same time, as Axios is reporting behind the scenes, the pressure for Biden to drop out is apparently absolutely overwhelming. For example, it's being widely reported that Biden had a conference call with congressional Democrats over the weekend on Saturday. Yes, that Saturday, just hours before the assassination attempt. And it was evidently a disaster. It was with a group of Democrats that actually represent about 100 congressional Democrats. And they all basically told Biden needs to go. And he is reportedly rambling responses during the conference call only confirmed it. We reported in our first video today that Nancy Pelosi had what reports are calling a very personal and very frank meeting with Biden, calling on him to step aside. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer also had a meeting and forcefully, that's the word that is being reported, forcefully made the case that it would be better for Biden, for the Democrats, and for the nation if he were to bow out of the race. Even Democrat voters are now turning on Biden. You know, just a couple of weeks back, CNN was reporting that 66% of Democrats wanted Biden to stay in the race. Now, as of today, a new AP poll found that 65% of Democrat voters want Biden to step aside. Interesting. I wonder what happened. Could it be that the Democrat faithful are suddenly only now waking up and realizing that Biden's got absolutely no chance of even coming close to winning at this point? So Democrat voters appear to be having some buyer's remorse. They're pulling a full mea culpa. Again, it's just beyond astonishing. It's all collapsing right in front of him. And we're just 100 days away from this election. And the Democrats still don't even know who their nominee is going to be. It is an absolute political catastrophe. We're now getting word, check this out. We're now getting word that Kamala's people smell blood and they are actively trying to wrench the mantle away from out of Biden's cold, stiff hand. There is apparently a civil war erupting inside the White House. There's already memes coming out, hilarious memes of what Kamala did when she heard that Biden got COVID. I mean, it's just too good. Now, the legal site Technofog has done an analysis of the DNC rules involved in picking a replacement should the nominee drop out. And basically, the Democrat National Committee is charged with filling the vacancy. In this case, should Biden drop out. So this is why there's so much pressure to get Joe to bow out as soon as possible so they can feature their new nominee, their replacement at the convention that's coming up in a few weeks from now and avoid a contested convention, avoid another Chicago in 68, and avoid another disaster. Now, as I understand it, there's only one possible replacement that can get all the money that Joe's raised, and that's Kamala, his running mate. Kamala really is the only logical and logistical, or the only legal, I should say, and logistical alternative to bumbling Biden. And gang, if that's the case, I'm sorry. This scenario is only going to go from bad to worse. Kamala is a polling disaster. Kamala, and she's not only a polling disaster. Remember, The one advantage that Biden has, the one election forecaster Alan Lichtman brings this up all the time. The one advantage that Biden has that no other Democrat has is incumbency. Okay? Incumbency is a huge electoral advantage. The incumbent almost always wins. Not this time, of course, but the incumbent almost always wins. There are a few exceptions, but incumbency is historically a very significant, very accurate predictor in terms of who's going to win elections. What makes this election so interesting is that it's the first time that both candidates are incumbents. Both candidates were president. So if you get rid of Biden, you not only get rid of the incumbent advantage that he alone has among Democrats, but you actually cede the incumbent advantage entirely to Trump. Now, Trump alone has the incumbent advantage. So not only does Kamala poll disastrously, but the Democrats are giving up the one single advantage they had going into November, and that's incumbency. They're actually ceding that advantage entirely over to Trump. He only gets stronger. Seriously, gang? Butter the popcorn. This is about to get good.